Pop music is full of surprise stories, tracks that everyone expected to fizzle out, but instead dominated the charts and transformed careers. In this video, we look at huge hits that were supposed to flop. Sucker by Jonas Brothers. The Jonas Brothers became teen sensations in the late 2000s, but they seem to have closed their chapter by the mid-2010s after a nearly 6-year hiatus that included solo projects, acting gigs, and fading relevance. Their decision to reunite in 2019 sparked interest, but expectations remained low. Could they really capture lightning in a bottle twice? Many doubted it. Enter Sucker, a sleek guitar-driven pop song that leaned into the brothers' catchy harmonies and irresistible charm. The song was an instant smash, debuting at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, an astonishing achievement for an act that many had considered over. The song was released with a great music video, which featured their wives, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, Sophie Turner, and Danielle Jonas. The music video won the Best Pop Video at the VMAs. Sucker showed that the Jonas Brothers still had it. What made it even more impressive was how the song resonated with a broader audience, including the fan base that grew up with them. It seemed like a lasting comeback, but they released another album in 2023, which didn't really do well. Shallow by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Lady Gaga had experienced a creative renaissance with her 2016 album Joanne, but it didn't really have massive chart toppers like her earlier albums. Commercially, it was considered a flop. When she ventured into acting with A Star Is Born, many saw it as a gamble, especially for its leading single Shallow, a soulful duet deeply tied into the film's narrative. Could a cinematic ballad really thrive in a streaming era that was dominated by hip-hop at the time? People expected the song to flop, but surprisingly, Shallow resonated with listeners worldwide, peaking at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earning 4 Grammy Awards, including Record and Song of the Year. Gaga's powerhouse vocals and Bradley Cooper's raw emotional delivery really connected, becoming a huge streaming hit, accumulating 2.5 billion streams to date. Shallow wasn't really supposed to be a pop blockbuster, as big soundtracks are hit or miss, but it ended up becoming one of the most enduring hits of her career. Can't Get You Out of My Head by Kylie Minogue. Kylie Minogue started her career in the late 80s, dominating her home Australia and even having a couple of crossover hits in the US. But by the early 2000s, she had struggled to maintain her chart dominance, as she hadn't had a hit in the US for close to a decade. Many viewed her as past her prime. When Can't Get You Out of My Head dropped in 2001, few anticipated the global phenomenon it would become. The song's hypnotic la 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 hook and slick electronic production really fit into the sound of the early 2000s pop music. It topped charts around the globe, including the UK, and became one of the defining tracks of Kylie's career. It managed to peak at #7 in the US, becoming her first top 10 hit since the 80s. Its success was a reminder that Kylie still got it, as she is one of the most consistent artists of all time, even dropping new music earlier this year. Can't Get You Out of My Head proved doubters wrong by becoming her most recognizable song and establishing her as a dance pop legend. Hung Up by Madonna. Madonna had absolutely dominated the charts in the 80s and 90s, cementing her legacy as one of the biggest artists of all time. But by the early 2000s, the world was ready to count Madonna out. Coming off the critical and commercial disappointment of American Life in 2003, her career was in a weird position. Many were questioning her ability to stay relevant and were prepared to dismiss her as a relic of the past. But with the release of Confessions on a Dance Floor in 2005, she silenced the naysayers, and Hung Up was at the center of her comeback. Sampling ABBA's iconic Gimme Gimme Gimme, Madonna blended disco nostalgia with modern electropop, crafting a song that demanded attention on the dance floors worldwide. While some skeptics initially thought it would flop, the gamble paid off. Hung Up became a global smash, reaching #1 in over 40 countries and reinvigorating Madonna's pop dominance. It wasn't just a hit, it was a declaration that Madonna wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. More than 4 decades into her career, she's still going, releasing new music, and trying to push the boundaries. She is a true legend. Just a Dream by Nelly. Nelly dominated the early 2000s, dropping hit after hit and selling huge figures. His album Country Grammar was certified diamond in the US, but by 2010, his dominance in rap has significantly waned. The musical landscape has shifted considerably, and many believe that his time was over. So when he released Just a Dream, a melodic country-infused pop rap ballad about lost love, expectations were low. But he proved everyone wrong. The song's universal theme and smooth production made it one of the biggest hits of the year. It climbed to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, spending 17 weeks in the top 10, revitalizing Nelly's career and giving him a second win years after his peak. The song's success highlighted his knack for blending genres, as his music has always had a country vibe to it, even collabing with Tim McGraw early in his career. Just a Dream wasn't a comeback. It was more like a reminder that Nelly was still capable of delivering a hit. Delicate by Taylor Swift. Delicate was supposed to be just another track on Reputation, overshadowed by the blockbuster singles that came before it, like Look What You Made Me Do and Ready For It. When it was released as the 5th single from the album, many wondered if Taylor's more vulnerable and introspective side would resonate in the midst of her fierce, revenge-driven persona throughout the album. The song seemed destined to be overlooked. Instead, Delicate slowly but surely found its place. It didn't start with a bang on the charts. It became one of Taylor's slow-burning hits, eventually peaking at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. Its soft, synth-heavy production and lyrics about insecurity in a relationship resonated deeply, showing that sometimes a song doesn't need shock value and a banging beat to become a classic. Delicate reminded everyone that Taylor's strength as a storyteller could still work magic, even during her edgiest era. Someone You Loved by Lewis Capaldi. Before Someone You Loved dominated the airwaves, Lewis Capaldi was relatively unknown outside of the UK. The ballad, which is a deeply emotional ode to love and loss, was already a hit in his home country, but many doubted it would achieve the same success across the pond. The US market is notoriously difficult for UK artists to break into, particularly with slow piano-driven ballads that didn't align with mainstream pop trends at the time. But Someone You Loved defied the odds. The song became a huge hit, climbing to the top of the Billboard Hot 100 and staying there for weeks. It was also a huge streaming hit, accumulating more than 3.6 billion streams on Spotify. The song's crossover success was surprising, as nobody expected it to become one of the most played songs of all time. Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat. Doja Cat has never been one to play by the rules. Leading up to the release of Paint the Town Red, she made headlines by actively distancing herself from her fanbase. She publicly called out toxic stans and purged her social media of followers she found problematic. It was a risky move. Many believed it would alienate her core supporters and tank her new releases. On paper, Paint the Town Red was doomed to flop, an uphill battle following a PR storm of her own making, but Doja Cat thrives on defying expectations. The song, featuring a catchy beat and provocative lyrics, became an instant viral hit. It topped the Billboard Hot 100 and dominated streaming platforms, now sitting on 1.2 billion streams on Spotify. She addressed the controversy in the song, reclaiming her freedom by saying people online don't dictate her life or career. Paint the Town Red is a testament to Doja's resilience, talent, and ability to turn a potential disaster into great marketing. Which hits that were supposed to flop did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.